You ever had one of those days when nothing works? I'm in Cambridge. I got up at 6 o'clock today. I thought I would be at 8. The guy was coming to check tires, so I thought I'd be on the road by like 9 o'clock. Unfortunately, so yeah, hooked up the Jeep. The Jeep was no problem. Some of these were, you know, frozen and stuck, so I used the de-icer and that some oil spray. So everything works on the Jeep. The airbags are filling up. The PTO works. I was able to lift the trailer. The booster airbags are working. The only thing that's not working are the big airbags, and that's why some guy showed up and he offered me to help. And because they had a car, he says, if you want, we can go to Canadian Tire, get you this. See, methyl hydrate. That's what Alan told me. Alan from Keswick, he says that's the best thing, because I'm using that. This guy bought me 4. How expensive are they? $5.99 each. Wow. Thank you, Mike. It was the guy's name, Mike. So yeah, somewhere there, the tank has air, surprisingly, right? So I was pouring this thing, the air brake antifreeze, and the red line. I think I should try the black line as well. But you see, if I open that tap over there, there's air, but nothing happens over here. Well, here it's escaping because that's the drain, but somewhere there's a problem. And for some reason these are reversed. Like normally they should fill up, but now it only works if I pull this down, which is like manual. But at least there's air, so the air goes to the bags and the bags fill up. And these gloves with the rubber are a real must. Man, right in the face. I got some in my eyes. Yeah, I talked to another friend of mine, Jamie. He says, yeah, just do this. Take the red line. You see, it takes quite a bit. Even though it's not a glad hand. And then I can just push it in. Son of a... Man. So that's what I've been doing all morning. that's my black line. This is the red line. So, and of course the air from the truck sooner or later should, because you know when I run the truck, so now this is empty. When I run the truck, the air gets warm, right? And now it's much warmer. All right, let's try this. Rotate valve knob counterclockwise until you begin to hear the hiss of escaping gas. Ignite at once. Do not try to ignite with valve fully open. That's how. I'll go start the truck. Just needs more hot air.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Who the heck is calling me? Yes. Oh, package for me. Just leave it at the UPS store. So I bought something on Amazon, so might as well pick it up later. So this guy, you know, sometimes they don't know that it's a UPS. Like my box is a UPS. All right. Yeah, I see the temperature now is -2. -2. It was -12 in the morning. So eventually it should freaking unfreeze, right? Look, it's sunny. It's really. I went to Canadian Tire, and then I went to Walmart. Walmart is useless. You know, I was asking them about this propane torch. They said we sell cans, you know, cartridges, but I said, what about how am I supposed to ignite the cartridge? Where's the actual, you know, apparatus? Oh, you have to go to Home Depot or Canadian Tire. Okay, so I went in there, and yeah, I tried a guy. There's a guy, like where I park my truck, there's a guy. He does roadside assistance, but man, I already paid yesterday. These guys, the wrecker service, they increased their prices. It took us 2 hours. 2 hours to. Sorry, there's some dirt on the lines. It took us 2 hours to take off the last axle, hook up the booster, and then flip the neck. And it required multiple lifts for him, because first I dragged the trailer, and then he had to bring the booster out, and then bring the long neck out, you know, drop it each time, and then hook up to the axle, and then hook up again, take off the axle, then again hook up to the booster, right? Then put the, oh yeah, and he put the old axle in the back, so he had to do multiple hookups. Hey, you need your fix yet, Sergei? And that's the bad boy right there. That's what was causing the problem. So basically, the mic showed up. The guy who bought me the he bought me this, right? And so he went to get me coffee, but so we decided, so we took off the line at the bottom here. Yeah, this was like this, right? This, see? And before it was way loose. It was not moving. And so we took off this line. This red line here was connected to the tank. And even when I you know, the nut was still there, but it was half undone. There was air coming out from the red line. So the red line was not blocked. And so then we took off the top line. There's no pressure in the top line. And then I took it off. There's like 2 bolts in there. I was holding it, and I disconnected this. I figured I'll take it inside the truck and warm it up. And what I did is, when I blew in here, that's where the red line is supposed to come in, right? See, now it's moving. Whereas before it was dead. There was no air, could not come in there. You see? And I just used the torch. I warmed up with, basically there was ice in here, so the air was in the line, but it could not get to here where this line goes to the actual bag, you know. Great, thanks very much.
Do you think you're going to be all right now, Sergei, or what do you think?
Yeah. Okay, Mike. Thanks very much. Thanks for
Have
coffee.
a safe trip, buddy.
Yep. Man, we're still recording. Yeah, he got me some coffee. And I went underneath and I found this. And again, thanks to Alan from Keswick, because I have to change some bolts in there. But yeah, this thing was frozen solid, you know, frozen solid. So, but now I'm gonna, just like Mike was saying, he says get rid of this, because he says, yeah, why is it pointing upwards, you know? So I'm gonna take it off like this. Like this is how it goes in, and then I'm gonna put it like this. There's no clamp in there, nothing, so that's how it should be. I don't know why they did it like this, but what's funny is that over here, somewhere here, yeah, it says up, and it's pointing this way. So basically this is supposed to be like this, you know, but for some reason that's how it was installed. So this is connected to that lever. You see, now there's a spring in there. But yeah, I think now at least it works. So yeah, I put a bunch of this stuff in there. So now just we're gonna warm up and go back out there and hook up all the bolts. And I have some Teflon tape and hook up those red hoses. But yeah, there was a lot of air in the red hose, so one of them was in here, and this was connected to the tank, to the air tank under the right. So but then you see, because this was blocked, that air could not get in here, and this is where the other red hose was connected, the one that goes to the switch, you know. Yeah, doesn't look like I'm gonna do too much driving today. So now it's 2:28, basically 2:30 p.m. And what's today? Friday? I think today is Friday, right? Yeah, 7th of January, Friday. And I was done with all this stuff around 1 o'clock, but then a guy calls me and he says he has a package for me. Okay. And he says, where shall I leave it? I told him, I said, go to my post office and you can leave them there. The guy says, okay. But I don't see any notifications I don't see any emails. Normally my post office sends me something, you know, hey, we received the package, please come at your earliest convenience, pick it up. But the guy said he has a delivery for me, right? So I assume he called me when he's right at my address, because that plaza is it's a shopping plaza. There's a bunch of businesses in there, and if you're not local, you don't know that it's the UPS store. And so I called Uber. I figured, you know, I don't know what my next adventure will be after this one. Basically, I don't know how long I'll be gone. And this package, I knew what it was, or what it should be. It's supposed to be a ultrasonic leak detector that I bought on Amazon to help me find that pesky leak on my accordion. And I thought it would be nice. That, you know, so I can do some diagnostics later on, right? And so we arrived there. I open my box. I don't see any notices. So I asked the lady, the owner, I said, do you have any packages for my mailbox? And she says no. And I called the guy because he messaged me before and then he called me, so I have his phone number. So I call him back. I said, did you deliver the package? And he says, not yet. So you called me saying that you have a delivery for me. Like, you know, one would assume that that means you're somewhere right there, right? And he says, no, I was just calling for directions. And then when you explained to me where it was, he says, I decided to deliver later. He says, I got a bunch of packages on my van. So basically the guy threw me under the bus, you know? So on the way back, I told Uber, I said, okay, don't bring me to the truck. Just please drop me off at the Walmart, so I can buy some food. And so I bought some salami, one spicy, one regular. I bought a baguette, and I bought some cheese with 0 carbs. I don't know, it's 2:30 now. Yeah, the one rest area that I like, I usually stop there just to check the load and stuff, but it's only 95 kilometers away, so even if there's a bunch of traffic jams, it'll take me like hour and a half, and it's only 2:30 now. So let's say 4 o'clock. But probably it's, you know, it's gonna get dark at 4:45. So I think that's all I'm gonna do today. Because there's another rest area north of Barrie. But the problem with that one is it's much smaller. and so I'm not sure I can fit in there with my monster rig. Yeah, the only problem I still have, I don't know why, but the last axle, the booster, doesn't want to do automatic leveling. It's probably something is frozen as well, because it's supposed to use the same ride height control as the trailer, but right now I have to do it manually, like increase the size of airbags, you know, open air, and then if I don't close it, it'll keep putting so much air that the chains on the axles become super tight. It's like maximum, right? And then you drain a little bit and you leave it like that, but that's not how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to just, once you drain it completely and then push the button in, it's just supposed to fill itself to the proper level, like the same pressure as on the other axles of the trailer. So for some reason it's not doing that, but I'd be surprised if everything worked correctly, since you saw how much headache I had just with one ride height control. And that's the one for the big airbags. So yeah, that's why another reason why I want to stop after driving, and I'm gonna put more of that brake antifreeze in to make sure this stuff never happens again. And now it's -6 Celsius. And the plan today was to reach New Liskeard, Ontario, which is 550 kilometers away from my yard. And then I ended up crawling under the trailer for 6 hours. Well, quite a bunch of people came over taking pictures, you know, because I stopped there at the clinic, at the COVID vaccine clinic, and now it's busy again because now everybody can get a booster shot. It was super busy a few months ago when people were getting the vaccine, and then everybody pretty much got vaccinated, right? And so there was no cars parked in that lot during the day, but now I see it's as active, as busy as before when we were doing the vaccine 1 and 2. Because a couple of weeks ago, right, the Ontario government opened up, anybody over 18 can get the booster shot. But you still have to do the appointment, you cannot just show up. And so I saw one guy come out, took a picture of the pipe layer, just said hi. I don't think he even knows me. He just liked the machine, but didn't ask anything, you know, hey, is it okay if I take a picture? But I guess, what am I supposed to say, right? I'm sitting in the parking lot. And then another guy comes out, he says, that's a big F dozer. I said, that's not a dozer, sir. Technically, I said, it's a pipe layer. Well, it's a big F machine for sure. I said, yes, sir. And he says, how much horsepower does it have? I said, well, these things don't need too much power because it's not like a race car, right? So I think maybe 300, 350. But I said, this thing can lift about 200,000 pounds when it's fully assembled. And then another guy showed up in a pickup truck. He says, where's the boom? He says, I know these machines, I work on gas lines, so I know it's supposed to have a boom. I said, the boom fell off in transit. They're sending a truck to pick it up, bring it back. I said, no big deal. Stuff happens, right? And then still another guy showed up with his wife in a pickup truck. And he says, hey, Captain Sergei. So now I know this guy is watching my videos. And that's the guy who got me the defreezer, antifreeze. And then he came back later, he helped me, you know, we were just talking about what can be wrong, you know, troubleshooting this. And he helped me, you know, pinpoint the problem. After, you know, I started disconnecting the lines, right? Like one line has pressure, okay, so it's not frozen. Then I take the one from the top, no pressure. And of course, that's where the problem was. The problem was the frozen height control. I think while this thing was sitting in my parking lot, it was probably a big change in weather. You know, maybe one day it was raining, and then another day it got cold, and so somehow water or moisture got in. And then it froze. So now I got lots of this airline antifreeze, and now I have the propane torch, which can come in handy because I don't have a microwave, right? So now I can probably cook some eggs or do a quick, you know, warm up on a burger. Or it can be very useful for some kind of an interrogation, you know. I think it's legal, like with a can like that, so small that the flame is not, I think the flame is like this big, maybe 5-6 centimeters. You know, let's say you're somewhere in the boonies, right, and you lost, and there's no cell phone reception. So you grab a local, you know, and waterboarding is not practical in this weather, right? Because it just freezes. And so, hey, I got a torch. But of course, I'm kidding. This torch, actually, the flame is much bigger. I was joking about 4 centimeters. I think it's more like 8. So it can be dangerous. So yeah, the traffic is moving along. But I know it's gonna get a bit crazy near Milton, because there's construction there, and there'll be Jersey barriers in here. -7. What's going on? It was -6 10 minutes ago. Yeah, the guy who showed up to check tire pressures. Was not a happy camper, you know, at -12, and he's crawling under the Jeep and the booster, you know, checking tire pressures. And he said, yo, that sounds exciting. When I told him, I said, I want you to check all axles. That sounds exciting. But that's why you guys charge money, right? That's why I don't want to do it myself. And then I ended up pretty much doing the same thing, like trying to fix this ride height control, right? Now check this out. K-Whopper on 6 axles.